All right, welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Proving Grounds powered by Verizon. And it's just you and me, Cubby, for the rest of the series. Are you ready to go the distance together?
I'm looking forward to this one, as we will have to see if Cloud9 can push this to a Game 5. In TLA, we've seen them have multiple match points in these playoffs. And it really feels like ever since they've gotten back on stage, the stage where they lifted the trophy in this past spring, they have been a different team. And I think that in games 1 and 3, they really proved that today. But C9 had a nice game too, and now back on blue side, so they can maybe get a draft for Zeri again, as that really felt like the comfort zone for King and Cloud9.
Now, for Cloud9 into this game, I'm looking at both Darshan and Copy, and they've been on this roster for so long. It's something we talked about in the pre-show. This is the time where I want to see them step up even more than we've seen in the previous series.
I think that in the last game, Darshan had a good early plan with Shaden, but the game just slowed down too much for the Renekton. And the game plan started to be around, trying to neutralize what team or TLA wanted to do. I think that this time around, it needs to be C9 finding that priority, or maybe finding that scaling in Zeri.
Yeah, so fast that lock-in came out from Cloud9 Academy. As we've said multiple times, it is a takeaway from Yon, but as we've seen on the Rift, it is a big pick for King, and Diamond called it, the Lux ult can change a fight.
I think the curious thing about this choice is that Yon actually only has one game of Sivir. Yon does not love playing the Sivir, and it's going to be a Kalista on 12-15, so Kalista did lose 3 AD.
Yeah.
A lot of that early strength being taken away. Man, trying to play Zeri into Kalista, Wukong, and whatever support they want to pair up with it is not easy. So I'm really curious to see what Destiny ends up grabbing here, or if they maybe wait to find a support counterpick.
Now, in Proving Grounds so far, King has been very good at staying safe and
Renata?
still getting in kills. So I want to see good protection coming out for King on this Zeri pick.
I feel like you need to run like Lulu with Zeri. Diamond was talking about how Zeri is just a different champion when paired up with Lulu. But if I see a Kalista Wukong, I'm really considering Renata right here for Destiny. You know that they're going to try and dive onto this Zeri. Having that hostile takeover could really make TLA think twice about some of the engages that they're taking later into the game. And it's a choice here for Cloud9. They want to take that Lulu and play for scaling already. Know they're going to have to eat it early mid-game from TLA. Or do they go for something else? Like the Ahri, which has been, it's undefeated between both of these mid laners coming into today. Copy 4-0 on the champion this split. He's going to deny that from Harry, take it for himself.
But they forego the support pick, and that can be worrisome. King, I mean, right now, yeah, right there. Team Liquid grab their support right away because they're going to be banning quite a few away, and the Renata instantly taken off the map.
And they're okay playing into the Lulu now. Because if I look at TLA's comp, Lulu doesn't do anything early in terms of helping deter Nautilus, deter Wukong from making these big plays that TLA are set up to do. Because for TLA, it is all about this early game. Can they utilize Kalista to get up in the face of Shaden, get up in the face of Copy mid with opening up the timers for Ayla to roam? See what ends up being the response here for Cloud9. As maybe we see... you don't even have to ban Braum here because there's no main engage yet for Cloud9. So maybe you get rid of Ornn or Sejuani. It's like something that can just pull the trigger on the side of C9.
See, one more ban to come out. On the clock, finally goes through.
Okay.
Now, going after Destiny's Rakan. He has been good with the engages in the early stages of the game.
I think Destiny's Rakan's been good. I don't think you need to ban that champion because Nautilus, you can kind of mess with the combos. The Grand Entrance, you can cancel it out with Dredgeline. Will be the choice, though, as it has definitely been comfort for Destiny. Again, Lulu fully commits C9 to that later identity we have seen them have success with. They have another opportunity to take away a mid laner against Harry, but instead it's actually going to be taking away the Gwen. Do we just see a Kali picked here and flexed again by TLA?
There we go with the cuteness again. Belveth, you know it's not getting locked in. Now I want to see what is getting locked in, as you were just mentioning, Cubby.
I think you're just Akali. Like have the Akali, you can play it into the Ahri, but it's also a flex for Bradley. We've seen that be so big for the side of TLA. That's going to be the call. Again, this early mid-game comp for TLA, really their bread and butter throughout this season, but God, it's so strong at the moment. I would like
So nasty.
Braum into the Kalista, into the Nautilus. I think Braum gets a ton of value into those two champions, but you can't match roams from Nautilus. You have to kind of play in the lane or play to respond, play to neutralize. So it still keeps C9 on the back foot, and they are still missing that main engage this comp really needs. So I'm expecting an Ornn or Sejuani to come out if they end up going with the Braum here.
Oh man, this is getting quite nasty now. I mean, Team Liquid Academy, this is so much early damage, so much early potential, and especially around those mid fights, especially around neutrals, waiting for that next pick to come out of C9.
I think they have to Sej. If they pick Ornn, Bradley goes Silas, and I think that's a huge winning draft for the side of TLA. So I'm expecting Sejuani or, okay, a Gragas. I actually would like that for Cloud9. You can somewhat manage the Akali lane.
Okay.
So that's going to put the Akali mid now, and yeah, Aatrox, hey, it's not something that can 100% pressure the Zeri as like the game goes on. Like Aatrox is going to play mid to short range. Zeri can somewhat outrange that. Same with Ahri. But it is really good in the front line of Cloud9 and would fit with that early mid-game identity that TLA is showing at the moment.
I mean, you were looking for an engager. You were looking for something to set the line for Cloud9 Academy. They have a strong one now, but Team Liquid goes straight to the Silas to take some ultimates for their own.
I really like TLA's draft. There is no tank for Trundle. I mean, you can turn Nautilus into paper, and you can take away some stats from Wukong, but you aren't hitting like getting huge value out of this. And we saw how well TLA was able to set up the 1-3-1 in Game 2. They weren't able to cash it into a victory. But look at all the early mid-game power they have against Cloud9. It's a lot of pressure on Destiny and Darshan, two of the veterans on this roster, to land big ultimates and really try and disengage, kite back fights. And there's not a lot of power in this comp early, so I think that given what we have seen from TLA today, their ability to hit the timers in the early to mid-game, they're going to have a lot of timers available to them early. And we're just going to have to see if C9 can try and neutralize as many as they can and scale, because it is going to be all Team Liquid in this early game.
That being said, though, I mean, that could be the end right then and there for the early game. But what if Cloud9 can survive that early? And Kalista doesn't do well when she plays from behind. Pretty much a dead champion onto that end. What do you do for Cloud9 to survive that end? And then what happens after?
I mean, if Kalista's going to run Cleanse here, and there are not a ton of things that can get on Kalista if Gragas doesn't have Flash. So, and in the extended team fights, Kalista's okay. I mean, Zeri W, the poke, it's deadly. But TLA, they have a comp that can get ahead early. You can get map control and take away access to River from Zeri, where she really excels having that W to extend on all the terrain. Those Lux ults, they hit hard in the words of Diamond, but it does take a while for them to get there. And we'll have to see if C9 can scale this game, because, man, this comp from TLA, it could be deadly early.
Match point for Team Liquid Honda Academy.
This is clever. They're going to use Copy to push back Harry. They're going to try and invade bot, but Ayla dropped an early word.
Yeah, spotted down. Yan. Oh, he got completely caught out. Stun goes through, flashes over the wall. I mean, that's the best he could have asked for Yan. It was a catch, but he burned his flash. He's still alive.
This is a weird mechanic on Kalista. When you use the spear, you freeze.
Yep.
And they were doing it right as Ayla backed, so Ayla dies in base. Because it has a travel time. And that actually forced Yan to burn both sums. That is a wild interaction to give C9 at least something to play with early.
This is not the first time we've seen that, is it?
I like the fun interactions we have in League of Legends. Keeps things fresh.
No, I'm talking about Proving Grounds. I think it was the game Rafa cast.
Oh, yeah, the Kalista killed someone in the brush.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Oh,
that was a good time.
That was nasty.
Fun times here.
Interactions. It worked against you.
At the moment, Wukong pathing bot, that is no surprise. I will say in isolation, Bradley should be fine against that Gragas. Gragas does have some early power, but as this lane moves forward, Silas also has access to some fantastic ultimates this game for him. Pretty much 4 good ults for Bradley to choose, and Bradley's Silas, as the mid lane role swap to top, his Silas was deadly mid, it is still deadly top, and we will see if Bradley can step up this game.
That's such a unique combination. You can flex the Akali to either lane. You can flex the Silas to either lane. And that's kind of the champion pool overlap that we have because of Bradley's time in that mid lane. And Harry being just the best mid lane that we've seen in Academy.
Also looks like Darshan's going for the tank iteration of the Gragas. We have seen some Gragases go with First Strike and build AP or go magic damage. This time around, though, that grass tells me it's going to be tank for Darshan. Makes sense with the Zeri. Again, that big front line for Cloud9. That's what gave them their win in Game 2. So C9 A couple of different pieces to that composition, but the same idea, same identity of this game for King.
So I'm taking a look at the jungle pathing. Skip coming out for Shaden, who's trying to prioritize an invade right here onto our Mayo, who is on his blue buff right now, Cubby.
He just got a smite back up, so if he drags it into the brush, he might have an angle, but at the moment, Ayla, nice dredge line connects, and trades are winning for the side of TLA. I think the fact, oh boy, Shaden.
Yeah, deep in bait.
Little wolves.
Here comes the fight. Who's gonna get it, Cubby? Who's gonna get it? Too late.
Yeah, the chomp's pretty big. As now Shaden, we'll see where he goes from here. He could cross mid. Akali doesn't have mid lane priority, so that could be big for the side.
Oh, Bradley's low. Darshan smells blood. Take a drink, but will not take a punch into Bradley's face.
Still, Darshan, you get health back with Gragas passive. Darshan's going to try and force the TP out of Bradley, but I think given the fact that Armeo's up here, he can help Bradley get this wave in. It's got to be a team push, though. And Bradley mismanaging this wave, kind of doomed in this matchup. Armeo has to be the one to save it. He's just going to walk here and hit the wave. They want to get this in.
See, are they going to go for the dive?
No, they are.
Straight up for the dive, straight for the dive, and it's first blood coming out from Bradley. It's not mismanagement, it is a kill, Cubby.
And that is massive for the side of TLA. Because again, Darshan, that wave state was doomed for Bradley in isolation. But you know what? Shaden was bot, Armeo was top, and Armeo gets that lane in favor of Bradley. Good team play again coming out from Armeo. As he takes a situation that was grim for his top laner, turns it into a winning situation, and now Bradley, as the side was already ahead in this matchup.
Bradley, he was sub 100 health going into that. Underneath his tower, it looked all doom and gloom.
Oh, hold on.
Now it's looking doom and gloom for Harry, though, as from 3 different angles, getting ganked on. Shaden will lead the charge. Poppy looking to follow through, but here's Armeo and Bradley still going down. It's going to be Harry, but Shaden returned fire. Armeo running low, deep behind the enemies is Bradley, and Bradley has to back out. Health bar's too low for Team Liquid. Disadvantaged in members. Not going any further. Cloud9 still getting that kill.
But the price is paid bot. As King talked about how Zeri would be under pressure early. It's a positive play for Cloud9 mid. Copy gets something. Harry's set very far behind now, but yeah, King, it's traded even in terms of CS. The kill being picked up by C9, obviously big, but that late game Zeri, I mean, this is the damage. This is the identity of Cloud9's composition. And that Zeri's behind early.
Against a Callista. All on top of that. Just wait for Ayla to get that hook in. Be damning. And Ayla has been a great playmaker so far. I mean, the Renata is the history we've talked about so much, the Game 5 Renata. Hype as can be.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing Yon and Ayla play a different style, which is more towards the pure aggro. Ayla can still make those big plays, but now it's on a much more individual level alongside Yon.
I mean, the blue side Callista for TL was huge this split. But reason I like blue side Callista a little bit better, it's easier to get access to the camps. Gromp's a higher value camp. You can utilize Callista's priority to push and actually have access to that side of the jungle. I mean, obviously Callista's still strong on red, but the way that TL played that with Armeo and Ayla, just always taking the top to bot route and able to pressure enemies, I think it was really next level compared to a lot of our LCS teams as well. Yon's Callista, it is 6-2 this split. Ayla's Nautilus is 4-0, and now, woo, the prediction forces the flash.
Like that from Ayla. Expecting the dash to come through.
Oh, hold on.
Big play, big play. Now Harry on to copy. Spirit Rush gonna be burnt out. 2 more charges left. No junglers nearby. Waiting for some intervention. The return on the Orb of Deception. A little bit of chip damage onto Harry, but only a wave shoved for Copy.
That chunk, though, Copy doesn't have TP. That could be enough with this bot lane priority for Armeo to start the Dragon. That will be the call. Copy
staying.
Was going to recall. He's going to make the right call to stay. See if we have a fight. Ayla has no flash.
Harry's also low. Level 6 for Harry. Has a lot of mobility.
It's a Callista fight. They're taking some damage.
Yeah, this is hard to steal away from.
TL need to turn on one side of the fight. They can't wait for C9 to collapse on them. They need the turn. So TL is trying to retreat, but now this allows C9 to group. Ayla gets chunked out pretty good. They reset the Dragon. That's really well played by Cloud9.
Bradley.
Yeah, this is really well played by Cloud9. Resetting the Dragon there is massive.
And Bradley still shows up, but yeah, the reset of the Dragon comes up good. I mean, the reset, especially with Callista right there, the Rend alongside the Smite, it is so hard to steal away onto that aspect. So good chase away coming out from Cloud9.
We talked about Cloud9 being able to deny some of these timers, like able to go neutral. That just buys them 30 seconds in the game, right? And I mean, not to mention, no Dragon being taken. That's going to save a potential soul stack that TL are looking to do with Callista, the strength that she brings to the early game in the bot lane. That's a really big play from Cloud9 to try and extend the duration of this game and get them to the part of the game they excel at, which really is going to be 30 minutes plus with this composition.
Shaden over towards the top side of the map is still mirroring a lot where Armeo is. Some of this coming from the pressure being applied over from Darshan towards this Rift Herald end of the map. Armeo's on this side. Now, Armeo has a recall coming out from Harry, so it's going to be pretty hard to place priority into this position. No teleport available for Harry. So let's see what Shaden's able to do with that. I mean, Rift Herald is on that side of the map right now.
So you can see right now, mini-map. Game plan for TLA, they want the Rift Herald. Actually, they're going to swap that up. So they see Braum and Zeri going bot. This is the Rift timer. Ayla's going to somewhat hover between mid and bot. Wants to make sure that there is no dive onto Yawn. But this should be a Herald take for TLA. They do have bot lane priority. This is the timer where C9's bot lane can answer. This is spotted, and now we have a play.
Oh, Bradley under attack, has the explosive cast, so can find a disengage. Waiting for more, not even going to use it. Just backs out, walks out, doesn't get ganked.
Ayla is here and is not spotted. When they spot Braum again on the bot side, it is a big health bar advantage in favor of C9. But Shaden seeing that crab being taken, Ayla can go.
Oh, Copy caught out. There's the chain of CC. Following through is Armeo, but can't kill Copy just yet. Shaden, however, takes down Bradley. What just happened on the other side of the map? Copy barely surviving.
Bradley was walking up trying to support the Herald take, but Bradley goes down. He will have TP coming up shortly. I think the chunk on the Copy with no TP for Copy is enough to actually start the Herald, but still C9, this early game plan for TLA, C9 are fighting back.
C9 are fighting back well as they try and
they
fight
stop the Herald.
Priority over towards this Rift Herald and chase Team Liquid away. The reset onto the Rift Herald as Destiny starts pathing into that direction.
And because of the moves from Cloud9, or TLA I should say, Cloud9's bot lane, they had priority. So now King and Destiny, they crashed that wave. Yawn was forced to respond. They're the ones sitting mid. That was enough pressure to actually force TLA off. Now that they fully rotated, Copy will be able to crash the bot wave into the tower. TLA will be able to rotate and answer. It still is a Herald for TLA, but still C9. They're delaying the timers and picking up kills and gold elsewhere. Finding kills, like as people rotate the Herald, that's huge. Like, these should be clean takes from TLA. They need to be clean takes from TLA. They want to make sure this is a clean game. But having a 10-20 Herald and no Dragon taken so far with a slight gold lead for C9, this is the dream early game scenario for them. This early game cannot go much better given the drafts that we have.
Now moving over towards that Dragon is going to be Team Liquid Academy Honda. Looking at Bradley, who hovers out. He is putting that Scry over into the jungle to get some positioning onto where Shaden can be. Sees that his entire bot jungle is cleared out.
And a lot of rotations on the map at the moment. As Cloud9's bot lane, they are mid. TL trying to respond here with Yawn. Sad B. I think he missed the Rend. Can't push as fast. Bummer for Yawn. TP actually going to be forced out too by Harry. So again, the map movements from Cloud9, they're actually getting small advantages. And I mean, given the drafts, given the comps that we have, again, that's huge early. The fact they're actually to delay this Callista Nautilus snowball, that's going to pay dividends for them as this game moves forward.
And it's a lot coming from Shaden, playing into Armeo, just going in for the invades, doing these deep invades early on, and setting up the map state for Cloud9 Academy. Shaden getting the better on a champion that we know all too well for Armeo.
Dragon still up. It's a Mountain Dragon. That's a really good role for TLA first. I mean, very high value Dragon. It's the strongest soul. Very strong individually. I'm still expecting TLA to have full control over this as we see mid-prio hand shaken by C9. But I think this is enough for TLA to actually hit the Dragon. And Cloud9, they have to get this. There's no way they can fight now. Champions on TL's comp are just way stronger. This will be the first Dragon going over to TLA, most likely.
A lot of those small leads that Cloud9 were getting, while Team Liquid is looking to get some right on back.
And still, they delayed this by 5 minutes. Like, the first time the Dragon was hit, it was around 6:37. The first Dragon taken is at 12:30. So the fact that Cloud9 were able to actually force them off here, this could easily be the second Dragon taken by TLA. Instead, it's the first. That's really well done by C9.
It's the small things. It's definitely the small things, but the big thing is it's not snowballing out of control when you have Team Liquid with an early game team. Now Shaden onto Bradley. Alongside Darshan,
no
he's locked down to jump onto the backside as Darshan walks towards the other end. Bradley just trying to get in some chip damage before he does fall.
Really well done again by C9. They see that Dragon taken. What does Cloud9 do? Hey, we can't fight them right now. We're going to give that, but we get something elsewhere. Bradley dying on a weak side again. Did that as well in game 2. That part of the reason that, slowed things down for TLA. That said, still going to be Herald drop. Still tempo for TLA. I mean, they have the better early game champs. They still are taking things early, but again, C9 answering back. Great news for them.
Now, with that turret going down, though, that is first brick. That's a lot of gold channeled right onto Harry. Going to be a strong spike coming out for Harry. Darshan trying to return it, but doesn't have a Rift Herald. And after taking a couple plates, it does get harder and harder to take down that tower. It's a big amount of income.
He's still eating good, man.
He's still eating good.
He's feasting up there.
Yeah, but Harry's feasting more. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, that's going to be enough for Harry to complete that Rift Maker. Tankier game, seeing 3 health stackers on the side of Cloud9 and end up going for that build that benefits the longer team fights. Will be Bradley with the Leandries this game on the Silas. I think these first item spikes, again, for TL, this is where they want to fight. They have the tools, they have the knockups to try and chain CC onto Zeri. Harry has that Rift Maker. Kali's so strong. 1-2 items. This is where I really want to see TLA push the pace of the game. We're going to have to see if Cloud9 can play defense well enough, again, to slow down this game plan and get Zeri to 3 items.
For Team Liquid, there's nothing to really play around, so Cloud9 at least have that to have some relief for them. Rift Herald, going to be a while. 2 minutes, 50 seconds before we get that Infernal Drake. But Team Liquid will still set them on the map nonetheless. You can see all that deep vision they're applying as Copy going for a play onto Bradley. Only gets the charm, will not try and continue through for the kill. Only here to make his day painful as the rest Team Liquid Honda Academy playing around this top side, playing around this mid side, sending Bradley the solo bot.
Another issue with the setup here for C9. They have to 4-1 this game. Gragas being the tank, he's not going to win out on the side lane. It's going to be about how Gragas can match and the waves that Darshan chooses to drop to group with the team and about what they can find on those waves. So you can see Darshan at the moment catching bot. Does enable Harry to walk on up. This is spotted by the side of C9, but Copy on the top side, Armeo presses E. Copy forced to ult. Again, C9 understanding this game. They are paying so much respect. Oh, hold on.
Oh, the fight breaking out. Ayla looking for more. Copy backs out, but Armeo chases him down. Now the root goes through from Ayla. King and Destiny looking to get out of this one as they will chase back onto Team Liquid. King onto Harry, but he doesn't have enough damage to continue this chase. And Cubby, I want to point out something right here. Jan had stopped the back of King at a time where King didn't have his mythic yet, was looking for that purchase.
I mean, even with that, Copy going in there, like, he pressed ult immediately. You have to get out of that situation. You cannot fight TL at this point of the game. Him going in, that's a death sentence. Again, all the knockups that TLA has. Watch this combo. Copy ulting out. He doesn't have any vision, trying to push up here, get a control ward. That's fine, right? Ayla's rotating, but once he goes in, it is depth charge into Wukong ultimate, into Fate's Call with the Nautilus knockup too. This is way too aggressive from Copy. Doesn't have the team with him. You cannot fight TLA at this point of the game. Copy tries to do it. He gets punished.
The Team Liquid Academy finding that kill onto Copy. The chain of CC. So brutal it be. It puts Team Liquid in a spot where they can transfer over to that Rift Herald. The pings are already onto it as Armeo heads into that direction. You have 35 seconds before Drake does spawn, so Team Liquid looking to grab that quickly, transfer back over to the bot.
TLA again needs to pick up these dragons. Bradley actually doesn't have the TP. So we are 25 seconds until this dragon is, comes on the map. It's an Infernal. up for grabs for each team. Again, we expect TLA, they are ahead in gold and they have the much stronger composition at the moment. I think that C9 fighting this would be a mistake. C9's best case scenario is that they trade out second Rift for it, and it looks like that is the play as Shaden's cleaning up the Raptor camp. We'll see if they can defend this mid-outer and if they are able to at least hit that second Herald while TLA takes this Dragon.
Hovering over Armeo and Harry for the Drake. Jan and Ayla kind of holding a defensive line over here where the Rift Herald is. So it's going to be the opposite side of things. Team Liquid will be able to grab the Drake and then possibly look for a transfer towards Rift Herald. So Cloud9 quick to respond to that side of the map. They know it's being taken.
This is dangerous for Jan. So this is spotted, but they do not see Copy above them. If C9 wants to go, they have to go now.
Well, they're looking for a Copy now, running in, looking for Jan, tries to get the Everfrost, but the chain of CC, Ayla providing that protection. Now Jan on the sidestep, Cloud9 come up completely empty-handed, Cubby.
And you know what? I know it's empty-handed, but at least C9, that's the right identification of what they have to do. Now I think they could just commit to the Herald, but TLA would have been able to rotate given the timers, so C9 just burned their tools. They don't have any more say on the map. TLA gets both monster objectives here. If C9 decides to fight, I would be very surprised. Darshan looks like he's heading bot. They're going to seed this. Again, I think it's the right decision from C9. Yeah. They have to keep on paying respect to the power of TLA at this point of the game.
The Copy doesn't have Spirit Rush.
Yeah.
No right to go for this fight whatsoever. Team Liquid, it is Rift Herald over to them. Now, where do they place it? They have so many gold leads working for them.
Throw it mid. Make sure you get that outer down. I think that's the key. And you can hold on to that Rift until the next Dragon spawns or close to it to try and get more map control around that point. If they're trying to drop a mid, or, I mean, usually the plays get an outer and an inner, but that's not going to be the case here. So all the outers, except for mid, have been taken by TLA, who, again, I think have been slowed down well by Cloud9. But is it enough? We're going to find out as, again, Baron on the map. TLA are going to be very aggressive with how they play around Baron with this composition. You have a Kalista. Guarantees that you're going to... I mean, any 50-50 becomes a 60-40, a 70-30, as long as you have Kalista able to rend that Baron, combining that with the Smite. And they know they have to push the pace, push the tempo of this game. TLA, well, they have been slowed down at times. Will they be denied?
Cloud9 Academy, their carries need some income. Shaden has picked up 3 kills so far, and it's all of the kills that Cloud9 have grabbed. And with the tower going down in the bot lane, that went over to Darshan. Well, still doing well are the laners of Cloud9 Academy, Copy and King. They still have good income, especially in comparison to their lane opponents. Copy versus Harry, relatively even in gold. It's not the spacing that you want to have for this one. It's Cloud9 now fighting over the chickens over the Raptor camp as they realize that Team Liquid are everywhere.
And again, TLA, much like what we saw in Game 2 when they had the Akali and the Yone for the side lanes, Silas and Akali. It's a 1-3-1 comp. It's about how they were able to get priority in the sides to try and rotate over. I will say Bradley at the moment, paying some respect that he doesn't need to pay. I think that's a nice character evolution here for Bradley. Trying to make sure that, no one's showing from Cloud9. They are on reset, but he doesn't want to get caught out. Now that they drop Herald, he has even more reason to be cautious, honestly, but it's still all TLA on the map. They do throw down the second Herald. They secure that mid-outer. And with Baron up, they do have complete control over this topside jungle. So C9 has to be very careful with how they approach this.
It's taking their claim over in this topside jungle. Cloud9 looking to fight it back, but look at all
Harry.
the angles you have from Team Liquid. Harry,
He's
with
thinking
an
about
angle
it.
of his own, looking for the shuriken flip. Will not hop into the combat. The charm goes out. It's only landing onto clones. You're only boxing with shadows.
Armeo gets the Gromp on the way out, so they're still eating good on the camps. Harry will have to reset to match Gragas on the bot side, pick up that way, but still TLA playing this out beautifully, making sure that they secure more resources than their opponents and utilize the power of this 1-3-1.
Now, Cloud9 pushed so far into their base now, and this is where things can get deadly. We were talking about how Team Liquid will just instantly commit to a play. It's something Diamond brought up a lot. Well, if that happens with a Kalista, that Baron is gone. That rend so much damage, it is hard to smite still from it, and you're not going to have much of a window.
I mean, again, I think the break point here is Zeri items. Look at these. Phantom Dancer, not even online. Guys, we are 22 minutes into the game. King, it's tough for him going up against this Kalista to step up, get resources, but him being 0-0-0, just completing the PD now, they still have to wait. It is Infinity Edge. That is the key for Cloud9. That is the break point where they're going to start to actually try and take some of these fights. As long as that is not in the inventory of Zeri, I think TL have complete control over this game. And you can see TL playing very aggressively here. aren't going to find a priority target, but they're still going to keep on denying the camps away from Shaden, taking away the resources from Cloud9.
Shaden, the best power farmer that we've seen in the regular season, now getting outpaced by Armeo and the rest of the priority established by Team Liquid Academy. 22 minutes into this one, it's been 2 dragons picked up by Team Liquid so far with a 2K gold lead going into their favor. Now Team Liquid will be looking for another Drake quite soon. 25 seconds, indeed.
And TLA, you know, they did sack a wave or two to try and set up that pick in the brush. They had the reset, get a shop in before this dragon spawns, so because of that, C9 don't walk into the play. They actually were able to take mid-outer and get something else in their favor. So C9 still, I think, really making decent decisions to try and stall this out as Armeo does get pillared. It's forced to W.
But he's running back in, looking for a cyclone opportunity because Harry is on the flank. Shaden goes deeper. Now here comes Harry as Jan fights back, but Harry on the back line. Armeo has to back out,
Bradley's
and so does Jan. So low is Ayla, but 2 kills picked up just like that from Harry.
Watch
he went the double kill, but here is Bradley on the flank. One solo laner shows up, then another for another double kill picked up by Team Liquid Honda Academy.
And Cloud9, they had the numbers advantage. They do not have the strength of the comps or champions at the moment. They thought it was enough to go in, and I gotta say, Jan, he was out of position at the start of the fight. I think that this is a decent attempt from C9. They chunked Armeo, they had a 5v4, but the strength of Harry on this Akali, the strength of Jan able to kite out on this Kalista, it is too much at this point of the game, and that's sole point for TLA.
I just want to point out how many members of Team Liquid Honda Academy
look at where Bradley
leave with
TP's.
low health bars.
Bradley TP's down here. I mean, this is so far away from the fight. So C9 again, like, Bradley is not here. He's not in this. This is not bad from C9 to go for this, but watch how Harry, Ayla are able to play this. Ayla holds the choke, and yes, Ayla goes down, but that is a 4-man connection from the Akali, and then
he still gets a root.
It's an auto attack off on King that holds him in place. Harry able to take the E and waits for Bradley to get here before Harry re-engages. That's too much for C9. TLA, they topple the members of Cloud9 Academy, is now 4K gold lead. 3 dragons to their name. TLA checking the boxes they need to make this a fast win.
Cloud9, small victory, small victory, small victory. While Team Liquid, big wins, man. And they bring it with that team fight as they set up over towards this Baron side. They're looking to contest with Cloud9. They feel the momentum shifting strongly into their favor. Armeo, Jan, Harry, Ayla, all standing in the lines and waiting for Bradley to join them.
So at the moment, I think Bradley needs to be grouped on the top side now. Harry has TP up. He's the one that has to answer Darshan in the bot lane. Bradley just used his to get in position for that fight. Obviously well worth it, but that will slow down any sort of Baron take or Baron look, as that top lane has to be answered. So Jan showing there. Again, C9 playing out the waves, playing out the map okay. Also love that ward that Destiny was able to hide on the bot side. And with Jan showing on that wave, C9 will step up, but they lack engage.
Oh, Bradley's taking away the Spirit Rush. Does have a flank right here. Cloud9. They can't get the collapse or the engage, and this is going to result in Team Liquid having enough time to regroup together. Darshan throwing out the explosive cast, but Harry dodges it expertly. Cyclone goes out, double knockup, and now on the back line, Bradley hopping right on the copy, but you can't escape when he has the Spirit Rush. 3 fall in an instant. They'll take the whole damn team. Team Liquid Honda, team fight, win.
And again, C9, this isn't your timer to fight. You weren't set up. It was all about Jan and Ayla, the best bot lane we have in Academy, King of Destiny. They pick the scaling comp. They can't answer at the moment. Jan and Ayla, they take full advantage of it. They delete King from the map, and that means Barrett is all theirs.
The King stands up to the Kings, and the Kings will not fall. They are so damn good, Cubby. The map moves they make, the times they choose to team fight, they punish outright, and now they are rewarded with Baron.
And TLA trying to get back into the grand finals, trying to defend their championship now, just one Nexus away, up big. And again, C9, Copy isn't in position for this fight. He was zoned out by the side of Bradley. He doesn't have access to Spirit Rush until it's too late. Bradley was able to match every single dash, deletes our Ahri from the map. While all that was going on, it was the point-and-click ult from the Kalista Nautilus. Just jump onto Zeri, take down the Zeri King. No, doesn't have access to flash for that fight. He dies, and now Bradley level 15.
Oh, but he might have been off more than he can shoot. King right there. Ayla over the wall. Oh, lands it onto the pillar. Gets stopped from going forward with the hook, but doesn't matter. You're too afraid to challenge Team Liquid right now. Armeo is just waiting in them wings. Harry shoving in the mid wave. Everything going right as Darshan tries to find something back for Cloud9, pushing over on the top.
And Yawn, after that fight, straight up picked up a Rage Blade. That's big for the Kalista. Look at Yawn's items compared to King's items. Again, we put such an emphasis on that Infinity Edge. No IE yet for the Zeri. Means this is all TLA, and C9 looking for a pick onto Harry. Will now have to jump away as Bradley. That's a cask.
He just got pulled closer. Bradley looking for his cask to engage the fight for Team Liquid.
I love the patience there from TLA, because again, C9 looking for plays, looking for anything optimistic. They just burned all their tools. Look at the ultimates down on the left side. Darshan, no cask. Now it's TLA. They're the ones that have the power to answer, as Bradley with the empowered cask on this AP Silas. This should be at least one inner falling on the bot side. It's now TLA will utilize that pressure to rotate to the top side. Cask does go wide from Bradley. Copy was able to sidestep it, but still the tower falls.
Tower falling in the mid, in the bot, all over the place. Team Liquid Academy, a strong gold lead coming out from them. 8K now in the lead in this game number 4, looking to repeat what they did to 100 Thieves and continue their domination.
Some resets coming in for TLA. I will say Yawn resetting a bit late. Dragon is up in 10 seconds. I think Ocean Soul, one of the weaker souls that we have on the Rift now, but in an extended team fight, if you're able to keep up full HP and going up against Zeri Poke, still gonna find value from Ocean Soul, right? Soul's a soul. So TLA, they're gonna take this one as C9. I don't think they're gonna be able to contest at all. They have to answer the bot wave. They don't have control over their bot side quadrant. And this Dragon, all TLA. Ocean Soul, another box checked.
Another big pickup for Team Liquid Honda Academy. Now into the mid lane. Bradley shoving over on the top side. Team Liquid not afraid to pick a fight. They'll lock down onto Darshan. And he gets rended to death as Harry shows up with the teleport. And now you're missing your frontline primary engage. You don't have an explosive cast. You got to look for a pick, and the pick misses. Copy can't land the charm.
Can only tank up so many arrows from this big old Kalista. Sit at level 16 for Yawn. He is the focus on Kalista. TLA so good at snowballing with these comps. And now the knockups in this area, they went in and out.
Here comes the Cyclone coming out onto Shaden and Copy, throwing in Ayla, looking for Copy. Copy starts to run low, but here comes the return of fire from Cloud9. Harry jumps in. Harry going for assassinations onto Shaden. Falling through is going to be Bradley. 2 picked up as Harry double and falls through. Falling, killing, taking down Cloud9. Your reigning, defending champions will be headed to the finals to defend the title.
And it's not only to defend, but also to net revenge against Dignitas, who put them here in the first place. But the gauntlet run, it is complete. Darshan falls, and TLA topple Cloud9.
A performance from Team Liquid 3-1 to set us up for our final game tomorrow.
A gentleman's sweep to make sure that this team gets the chance to defend their title. And for Cloud9, the scaling worked for them in Game 2, but Game 4, the aggression from TLA, it was too much. Cloud9 tried to find the windows, but the strength of TLA, it was too much. This Kalista Nautilus, Kalista might have been nerfed, might have lost 3 AD. When we're able to pump out damage to play around Yawn the way the TLA is, that doesn't matter. They still execute the game plan and take down Cloud9.
So many studs on this roster. So many studs on this roster. Bradley and Harry in sync with those mages, diving every single member of Cloud9 Academy. Of course, Armeo standing up at the right time to be that general. The rest, really, it is history for the squad. They won a title last spring, and now they're setting up to take their second in the summer.
Third final in a row for TLA. From 21 summer, 22 spring, and now 22 summer. I know for Cloud9 that this was a team, a roster they felt like was built to win Proving Grounds, was built to go the distance. But TLA, they are our defending champions for a reason. And despite a few games being dropped and a series being dropped along the way, this team is now battle-tested going into the finals. Yeah. I mean, dropping a game to 100 Thieves to C9, they gave them a few runs for their money. And I gotta say, After a 29-7 regular season, I think a battle-tested TLA might be even scarier going into finals. The fact that this team has already been on stage 2 days, the fact this team knows what it takes to win, and the fact this team actually had to deal with some, pressure in this tournament. That's something they did not face in spring. They faced it in summer, and they conquered. And now they're looking to hoist that trophy again.
And you know what? They handle pressure so well. I don't think you should start with summer of last year. I think you should start with spring of last year, because that was when Team Liquid got eliminated at the very start of Proving Grounds. Top 16 finish they had. And 4 members are still the same on that roster. The only change was in the top. And every single Proving Grounds after that, it's been a higher placement, making it to the finals, winning the whole thing. And now, well, the only thing left is just to defend that title you earned.
Doing it once is hard. Doing it twice, even harder.
I gotta make an analogy of my own when it comes to sports analogies. They say you are not the true champ unless you defend your belt.
That's true. And the fact that you get the chance to do that, that is step one. TLA was not the easy road to get here, but they still were able to make it. And it wasn't easy against 100 Thieves. It wasn't easy against C9 either. I think that C9 today, game 1, weren't able to find the plays they wanted. Game 2, able to scale it out and bounce back. But games 3 and 4, that's the reason that TLA were a team we were so excited about. A team we were posturing that could go up against the bottom half of LCS because of how clean they play out these early games. And when they get a lead, how difficult it is to topple them. Because the decisions they make on the map and any mistakes that you make, it gets punished when you are TLA, when you are going up against them. As Diamond 70 was casting with us, Ayla or Mayo, they do not miss timers. They always know when they can fight, when they can punish. Really saw that in this series as Yaw and Ayla, that game 4, they were huge, man. C9, any ultimate that went wide, any play that they weren't able to net, TLA were there to punish.
Team Liquid Academy now headed to the finals after a phenomenal performance in the lower bracket. But that is it for us on the caster desk. Joshi is waiting right behind me right now with an interview with one of our victors, the General Armeo.
Welcome, everyone. I am joined by the victorious Team Liquid Academy jungler, John Armeo, coming through. First off, John, as always, congratulations. But you just came off of a crazy win off of 100 Thieves and Cloud9. How has it been going as you have to do prep every single day to prepare for the next day?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun playing days in a row. It kind of is like a little similar to LCS, I guess. But obviously in LCS, you don't play BO5, so it's a lot more games. But like playing days in a row, it's kind of like a super week since we're playing 3 days in a row. So it's really fun. And I don't think I played too well yesterday, so I think today was a lot better. It was more comfortable.
You have that big bounce back, right? You had to play up against Will, and it's kind of been fascinating to watch. You actually have, as one of the most veteran players in Academy, you got the rookie gauntlet, man. You had to play up against Will. Today you had Shaden. Tomorrow you have Perry. What's the difference between a veteran and some of these more rookie players?
I mean, I think in these games, I'm a bit of like a carnivore jungler. I'm looking looking for plays. Yeah, looking for plays out there. The enemy team was sleeping a little bit, I think, in the early game today, which it happens, right? Obviously, they're the more inexperienced, not to hate on them. I think Will and Sheehan are both good players, but yeah, I think I'm stronger than both of them. And I think tomorrow, Perry's obviously even newer. He did beat us last time, but I don't think the jungle matchup will be like that this time. So.
All right, well, that's good to hear. I want to talk a little bit more about how we had the last opportunity. You guys are, in fact, the defending champions, and tomorrow you have fought back. You've earned the right to defend your title. What's the thought process going on behind there? I know you guys have said earlier, anything less than winning is not going to be enough.
I think you summed it up right there, yeah. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, we dropped into lower bracket, so by them, so we're looking to get our revenge. I do think they're like the strongest other team in the tournament, so it'll be fun, but I don't want to come out with a loss, so yeah. we're gonna be winning.
So let's talk a little bit about that, right? You dropped into the lower bracket earlier. Some of your teammates have said that it was, a really good kick in the pants, right? Something just wasn't quite clicking. What has been that click for you guys to re-find your confidence?
There it is, the coach. It was actually just coach gap. I mean, that's the best jungler as well. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's a variety of factors. I think Bill has been really stepping it up on the stage games especially, so he's been doing very well, getting everyone on the same page, but I don't think it's any one particular thing. I think we've all been doing better, and it's just been going well.
Okay, and then we also got to look, right? This is the defending champion. You got all the same players coming back again. What do you feel has been the difference between, Team Liquid in spring and Team Liquid in summer?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I think everyone's improved, obviously. I mean, that's obvious. I guess we did the Korean boot camp for 4 of us, so I think we're all really strong individual players. Bradley too, he's just too good, so he doesn't need to go to Korea. I think Bradley's gotten a lot better at working with the team and being less greedy and like playing for our win cons and stuff. But yeah, I think we're just all working together. I don't know. I can't think of anything particularly that we improved on. I think we're just better versions of ourselves, but the enemy teams always get better too. It's just how competition works. So
there you go. As everybody's leveling up, do you have a message for Dignitas for tomorrow?
Good luck to Perry. My Champions Queue games against you are an indication of what's going to happen tomorrow.
There we go. Strong words coming out from John Armeo, but that's going to be it for us here. Let's go ahead and throw right back on over to the analyst desk.
Ooh, bringing Champions Queue into the mix there. Diamond, do you agree? Does that Champions Queue performance translate to stage games?
Not always, but Armel's been pretty good in Champions League in general, and he's kind of farming all the noobs.
A little bit.
Yeah, so like he plays like Volley Baron and he just like runs down all the noobs. So having Armel in Champions League is a kind of free run.
Well, now that we've seen a little bit more of Team Liquid Honda Academy in action, did you learn anything new about them? Is this the Team Liquid that you expected, or did you see anything new coming out of their court?
Textbook Team Liquid. I think they just played their same way. And
they're just as good?
Yeah, they're just that good.
Yeah, I mean, they are the defending champions for a reason, right? Let's be honest here. We had them heavy favorites coming into Proving Grounds to begin with.
Yep.
They were the #1 seed. They topped the charts in the Academy regular season. It was a surprise that they dropped into the lower bracket by Dignitas Academy to begin with. So I want to go there next. Is this a buff? Is it better to drop into the lower bracket so you get some more stage games, some more experience? I know we kind of meme about that sometimes, but there might be an argument there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's for sure a debuff to be in the winners bracket and not play as many games as the other teams. So of course they're like under like a fire and like they could like be out of the tournament anytime, but they get to play so many more games. Like I think TLA has like 3 more BO3s or BO5s than the enemy team, right?
I believe so, yeah, because they would have had to go, I'm blanking on who they were up against. It might have been Immortals before, and then 100 Thieves, and then Cloud9. But as we see on the bracket right now, 4-game series for their last 2. This is their 3rd series they're going into this week. I'm happy that Joshi asked the question of, you have to prepare for a different team every single night, which is kind of nuts to think about, the amount of effort you have to put into that from a coaching perspective and from player perspective to say, okay, reset, new style, reset, new style, reset, new style, and you always have to be on your toes. As we welcome Joshi back onto the desk.
Good to be back.
But yeah, I liked kind of that approach, and good question there, Joshi, to say like, it's difficult to have to prep for so many different players. Diamond, what do you think the chances are then against Dignitas? Because we won't have you on the show tomorrow, so I'd like to get your thoughts to close out.
I mean, I can just give my prediction, but I might as well.
Let's do it.
Go,
Who's taking
on
it?
the record.
Are they going to defend the title?
I think it's 3-1 again for TLA. I think in a series, like a best-of-5 series, I think it's pretty easy to drop one game because there's one drive that goes badly, they have an answer, you get cheesed, and you lose. Or like you make a really bad mistake in the early game. So for example, last game, Jan lost both his sums of 1. So that's a big mistake and turn one game and then, can snowball from there. But I think it's going to be 3-1. I think it's going to be the same old Team Liquid. I think the last time they lost, actually, they left a lot of OP picks open.
Sure.
And I think if they fix that and they like
Coach
go left,
diff.
yeah.
Coach diff.
I think it wasn't a coach diff. I think it's like a whole team perspective,
Nah,
Yeah.
fair enough. I will say, Dignitas Academy 3-0'd Cloud9, and Team Liquid Academy dropped a game. So, if we're just looking at power rankings based on performance there, I'm still excited for it, of course. But that's all that we have for today. I will, of course, be back with some more guests tomorrow to close out the entire season, the entire year of Proving Grounds. Thanks for sticking with us for today's broadcast. We'll be back with more Proving Grounds action tomorrow, and we'll see you there.